Indian economic environment simplified explanation. 1. Introduction to the Indian economy. India has a developing market economy, meaning it is still growing and improving. It is fifth largest economy in the world by nominal GDP, total value of goods and services. Third largest economy by purchasing power parity, PPP, which considers cost of living. 2. India's economic growth. Before 1991, India had a controlled economy, government intervention. After 1991, liberalization, reduced government control, led to 6 to 7% annual GDP growth. 2014-2019, India became the fastest growing economy in the world, even surpassing China. Reasons for growth: young population, more working people, fewer dependents, high savings and investments, global trade and investments. 3. GDP growth in 2018-19 term. Overall growth 6.8%, Q4 Jan-Mar 2019, 5.8% compared to 8.1% in 2018. Final consumption share in GDP 7.2%, how much people spend. 4. Economy in 2019, short-term slowdown. Growth slowed in early 2019. Monsoon rains were normal, good for agriculture, good for farmers and economy. Private sector improved, businesses and industries grew. Government boosted the economy by merging public sector banks. Strong banks absorb weak ones, relaxing FDI, foreign direct investment rules, to attract international businesses. 5. Challenges in 2019. Falling vehicle sales, people buying fewer cars, weak demand. NBFC, non-banking financial companies, crisis, less money available for loans. Government debt and global slowdown, less money for new projects. 6. Government's response, merging weak banks with stronger ones to increase lending, easing foreign investment rules, more international money, tax breaks on car purchases to increase sales. $24 billion from the central bank, still deciding how to use it. Shortcut to remember, trick. Big GDP, B equals banks merging, I equals investment rules relaxed, G equals GDP growth, G equals global slowdown, D's demand decreasing, P equals private sector growth. This way, you can recall the key points quickly. Let me know if you need any changes. Features of the Indian economy, simplified explanation. The Indian economy has some unique characteristics that differentiate it from developed countries. Let's break them down in simple terms. 1. Low per capita income. Per capita income equals total income of a country, total population. India's per capita income is very low compared to developed countries. Example, in 2000, India's per capita income was $460, while the USA's was 83 times higher. Why is this a problem? Unequal wealth distribution, rich become richer, poor stay poor. Major reason for poverty and slow economic growth. 2. High population density. India has the second highest population in the world, 1.32 billion in 2011. China is first with 1.41 billion people. Problems of high population. More people, more demand for jobs, food, housing. Hard to maintain a good standard of living. Developing countries struggle to provide for everyone. 3. Dominance of agriculture. Most people in India work in agriculture. Example, in developed countries, more people work in industries and services. Problem, agriculture depends on monsoons, rain. If rain fails, farmers suffer. Low productivity, less economic growth. 4. Low capital formation. Capital formation, total savings plus investments in the country. India has low savings and investment levels due to low income. Example, if people earn less, they save less money for businesses to expand. Result? Slow industrial growth. 5. Backward social and institutional framework. Social customs and traditions limit economic progress. Example, many people avoid entrepreneurship due to cultural beliefs. Impact, people stick to traditional jobs instead of innovating. Economic progress is slower. 6. Poor utilization of resources. India has many natural resources, but they are not used properly. Example, minerals, forests, land, water are wasted or mismanaged. Factories do not work at full capacity due to poor infrastructure. Result? Slow economic development. 7. Market imperfections. Prices of goods keep fluctuating due to supply and demand imbalances. Example, when demand is high but supply is low, prices increase. Why is this a problem? Common people struggle to afford goods. Economic instability makes long-term growth difficult. Shortcut to remember, word trick. Plant grow. P equal per capita income low, L equals low capital formation, A equals agriculture dominant, N equals natural resources wasted, T equals tradition blocking growth, G equals growing population, R equals resource mismanagement, O equals overpricing market imperfections, W wealth inequality. This makes it easy to recall all the features in exams. Structure of the Indian economy, simplified explanation. The Indian economy is divided into 3 main sectors based on the type of activities involved. 1. Primary sector, raw material production. This sector involves the direct use of natural resources for production. It is called primary because it forms the base of the economy and provides raw materials for other sectors. Main activities in this sector: agriculture, farming, forestry, fishing, and timber production. Example, farmers grow wheat, which is later used to make bread. Fishing. India has a huge fishing industry, especially in coastal areas. Example, fishermen catch fish, which is then sold in markets. Mining. Extracting minerals like coal, iron, petroleum, and diamonds. Coal is mined and later used in power plants to generate electricity. The contribution of this sector to national income is decreasing as India moves towards industrialization. 2. Secondary sector, manufacturing and construction. This sector processes raw materials from the primary sector into finished goods. It is responsible for 24% of the Indian economy. Main activities in this sector: industry, manufacturing, transforming raw materials into finished products using machines. Example, cotton, raw material, processed into fabric, made into clothes. Construction, building roads, bridges, buildings, railways, etc. Example, engineers design highways for better transportation. This sector adds value to raw materials and creates job opportunities. 3. Tertiary sector, services. This sector provides services instead of goods. It is the fastest growing sector and contributes the most to the economy. Main activities in this sector: banking, helps in managing money and loans. Example, people deposit money in banks, which is used to give loans to businesses. Insurance, provides financial security for unexpected events. Example, car insurance helps cover accident costs. Transport, moving goods and people from one place to another. Example, trucks transport vegetables from farms to cities. Hospitality, hotels, restaurants, and tourism services. Example, a hotel provides accommodation for tourists. This sector is essential for economic growth as it supports both primary and secondary sectors. Shortcut to remember, work PST economy, P equals primary, raw materials, S equals secondary, manufacturing, construction, T equals tertiary, services. This will help you easily recall the 3 sectors in exams. Let me know if you need more simplifications. Problems of the Indian economy, simplified explanation. India's economy has grown, but it still faces major challenges that slow down its progress. Here are the key problems. How? 1. Inflation, price rise. Inflation means an increase in the prices of goods and services. Current inflation rate, 6.4%. Effects: less savings. People need to spend more, so they save less. Less investment. Businesses hesitate to invest because costs are rising. Trade problems. Indian goods become expensive compared to foreign goods, so exports fall and imports increase. Example, if the price of wheat rises from 30 kilograms to 50 kilograms, people will buy less, affecting farmers and businesses. 2. Poor educational standards. High illiteracy rates, especially among women. 50% are illiterate. Many people lack proper skills, making it difficult to get jobs. Though many Indians speak English, the overall education system needs improvement. Example: a person with poor education may not get a high-paying job, reducing overall economic growth. 3. Poor infrastructure. Many households lack clean water, electricity, and sewage systems. 40% of food grains rot due to a lack of proper storage and transportation. Poor roads and electricity supply affect industries. Example: farmers produce food, but bad roads and storage issues cause waste, leading to higher prices. 4. Fall in balance of payments. India imports more than it exports, causing a trade deficit. If imports keep rising, the Indian rupee may lose value. The economy needs foreign investments and better export policies. Example: India imports oil but exports fewer products, so more money goes out than comes in. 5. Income inequality. Economic growth helped the rich more than the poor. Many poor people in villages still lack basic facilities like electricity. 33% of people earn less than 80 per day, below poverty line. Example: a city worker earns 50,000 per month, but a farmer in a village earns only 3,000 a month, increasing the wealth gap. 6. Large budget deficit. The government spends more than it earns. Deficit 8% of GDP without subsidies. Limited funds for education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Example: if the government earns 100 but spends 108, it leads to debt affecting future growth. 7. Rigid labor laws. Companies with 100+ employees need government permission to fire workers. Foreign investors avoid India due to strict labor laws. Trade unions are politically powerful, making it hard to change rules. Example: a factory wants to remove unproductive workers, but strict laws prevent it, reducing efficiency. 8. Inefficiency in agriculture production. 51% of Indians work in agriculture, but it contributes only 7.4% to GDP. Farmers use old techniques and lack proper irrigation. Slow reforms make it difficult for agriculture to grow. Example: a farmer using old tools produces less, making farming unprofitable compared to industries. Shortcut to remember, word trick: IP equals inflation, P equals poor education, I equals infrastructure, F equals fall in balance of payments, B equals budget deficit, I equals income inequality, L labor laws, I inefficient agriculture. This will help you recall all 8 problems of the Indian economy in exams. Let me know if you need further clarification. Recent changes and developments in the Indian economy. India has seen significant growth in recent years due to strong economic policies, rising foreign investments, and industrial growth. Here are the key developments. GDP growth. India's GDP growth rate in 2018-19 was 6.8% at constant 2011-12 prices. This shows steady economic expansion despite global uncertainties. Example: if India's total economy was 100 last year and grew by 6.8%, it became 106.8 this year. 2. Foreign direct investment FDI. FDI inflows from April 2000 to March 2019 were 23.78 lakh crore, $420 billion. More foreign companies are investing in India, boosting job creation and industries. Example: Apple and Samsung setting up factories in India due to favorable FDI policies. 3. Foreign exchange reserves. India's forex reserves in July 2019 were 29.88 lakh crore, $430.37 billion. Higher reserves mean better financial stability and stronger currency value. Example: a country with high forex reserves can easily handle economic crises and import goods without financial stress. 4. Growth in mutual funds. The total mutual fund asset base in July 2019 was 25.81 lakh crore, $397.91 billion. This means more people and businesses are investing, leading to better financial growth. Example: if you invest $10,000 in a mutual fund, its value can grow over time, helping you save money. So 5. Industrial production growth. India's Index of Industrial Production (IP) for June 2019 was 130.2, showing 2% growth from June 2018. Steel production grew the most, 19.4%, supporting infrastructure development. Example: more steel production means more bridges, buildings, and industries growing. 6. Growth in core industries. In May 2019, 8 core industries — coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery, steel, cement, electricity, fertilizer — grew by 5.1% compared to 4.1% in May 2018. Example: if India's steel industry produced 100 million tons in 2018, a 5.1% growth means 105.1 million tons in 2019. Private equity, PE, and venture capital (VC) investments. PE VC investments grew 35% in 2018, reaching 2.43 lakh crore, 35.1 billion. In Jan-March 2019, PE VC investments were 59,023 crore, 8.5 billion. Example: a startup company in India receives investment from a venture capital firm to expand its business. Shortcut to remember, word trick: GFMICP. GDP, F FDI, F equals forex reserves, M equals mutual funds, I equals industrial production, C equals core industries, P equals PE VC investments. This will help you recall the 7 major developments in India's economy for your exam. Let me know if you need more clarity. Recent developments in the Indian economy. India's economy has seen strong growth due to investments, exports, tax collection, and industrial growth. Here are the key developments. 1. Growth in exports. Merchandise exports grew 8.85% in 2018-19, reaching $298.47 billion. Services exports also increased by 8.54% to $185.51 billion. Example: India exports goods like textiles and software. If last year exports were 100, they are now 108.85 cents. 2. High manufacturing activity. Nikkei India Manufacturing PMI measures manufacturing growth, reached 54.3% in Feb 2019, a 14-month high. A PMI above 50% indicates growth in manufacturing industries. Example: more companies producing goods equals more jobs and economic growth. 3. Increase in tax collections. Direct tax collection in 2018-19 was $10,144.57 billion. GST collection reached $10.70 trillion and $154.69 billion by Feb 2019. Example: higher tax collection means the government has more money for roads, education, and healthcare. 4. Growth in IPO market. Initial public offerings in India raised $5.5 billion in 2018. Q1 2018-19 IPOs raised $0.9 billion. Example: when a company like Zomato goes public, it raises money from investors to expand its business. 5. Increase in foreign direct investment, FDI. FDI equity inflows reached $409.15 billion, April 2000, DEC 2018. Top sectors: services, IT, telecom, trading, and automobiles. Example: Amazon and Google investing in India to expand their business. 6. Industrial production growth. Index of Industrial Production, IIP, rose by 4.4% in 2018-19. This indicates growth in factories, manufacturing, and industrial output. Example: more cars and mobile phones are being manufactured than last year. 7. Controlled inflation. Consumer Price Index CPI inflation in Feb 2019 was 2.57%. This means prices of goods and services are rising slowly, keeping inflation under control. Example: if a product cost 100 last year, now it costs 102.57, showing low inflation. 8. Rise in employment. Net employment generation in India was highest in 17 months in Jan 2019. More industries, more jobs for people. Example: new factories and IT companies hiring workers, reducing unemployment. Shortcut to remember, word trick: EMTIFICE, E equal exports, manufacturing, T taxes equals IPOs, F FDI equals industrial growth, C CPI, E equal employment. This helps in remembering the 8 major developments in India's economy for your exam. In the Indian economy. The Indian government has launched several initiatives to boost growth, support industries, and improve infrastructure. These initiatives aim to help farmers, workers, and businesses while making India a global manufacturing and digital hub. 1. Union Budget 2019-20. The total budget was 27.84 lakh crore, 391.53 billion, a 13.3% increase from the previous year. Focus areas: farmers, underprivileged people, unorganized workers, and salaried employees. More investment in roads, railways, and social infrastructure. Example: just like a household budget plans expenses, the government budget decides where to spend money, like on roads, hospitals, and education. 2. Make in India and Digital India. Make in India encourages foreign companies to set up factories in India to boost manufacturing. Goal: increase manufacturing's share in GDP from 17% to 25%. Digital India focuses on digital infrastructure, online services, and digital literacy. Example: Apple started assembling iPhones in India instead of importing them. More production in India, more jobs. Software and electronics policies. National Policy on Software Products 2019. Develop India as a software hub. National Electronics Policy 2019. Support electronics manufacturing. FAME 2. Faster adoption and manufacturing of electric vehicles. Promote electric and hybrid vehicles. Example: India aims to become a leader in software like Microsoft and promote electric vehicles like Tesla. 4. Infrastructure and electricity. Village electrification completed in April 2018. All households to be electrified by March 2019. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, 1.29 million houses built by DEC 2018. Example: every village in India now has electricity, just like every house needs power to function. 5. Agriculture and exports. Agriculture Export Policy 2018, double agricultural exports to $60 billion by 2022. Example: more Indian mangoes, rice, and spices being exported to the world. 6. Employment and business growth. Prime Minister's Employment Generation Program, 5,500 crore, US $755 million, for job creation from 2017-2020. Example: small businesses get financial support to create jobs. Future growth road ahead. India's GDP may reach $6 trillion by 2027. India aims to generate 40% energy from non-fossil sources by 2030. India may become the world's third largest consumer economy, $4 trillion by 2025. India could surpass the USA in purchasing power parity P by 2040. Example: more digital payments, online shopping, and economic growth will make India a leading economy. Shortcut to remember. Word trick. BMSEAJF, B, budget, M equals make in India, C equals software policies, equals in gross domestic product, GDP. GDP, gross domestic product, is the total value of goods and services produced in a country. A higher GDP means a growing economy, while a lower GDP indicates slow growth. 1. India's population and GDP growth. Population increased from 1,250 million, 2013, to 1,370 million, 2017. GDP grew from $1,859 billion in 2013 to $2,657 billion in 2017. GDP per capita, income per person, increased from $1,488 to $2,717. Example: imagine a factory producing 1,000 units in 2013 and 1,500 units in 2017. More production equals more GDP. Act 2. Economic growth and consumption trends. GDP growth rate. Highest in 2016, 8.2%, lowest in 2013, 6.4%. Consumption spending by people increased steadily, peaking at 8.2% in 2016. Investment money put into businesses grew from 1.6% in 2013 to 9.3% in 2017. Example: more people buying cars equals more car production, economic growth. 3. Industrial production and public debt. Industrial production fluctuated, growing between 3.3% and 4.6%. public debt, government loans remained around 68 to 70% of GDP. Example, if a company borrows money to expand, it can earn more, but too much debt is risky. 4. Inflation and interest rates. Inflation dropped from 10% 2013 to 3.6% 2017, making goods cheaper. Policy interest rate, RBI rate, fell from 8% to 6%, encouraging borrowing. Example, if inflation is high, 100 buys fewer goods. If it's low, 100 buys more. 5. Exports, imports, and trade balance. Exports fell from 314 baht 2013 to 262 baht 2015, but recovered to 305 baht 2017. Imports fell from 451 baht 2013 to 379 baht 2015, but rose again to 463 2017. Trade deficit, imports, exports was highest in 2013, 136.7 baht. Example, if India exports more cars than it imports, it makes a profit. If it imports more, it has a trade deficit. Hack 6. Foreign exchange and reserves. Exchange rate versus US was 60 per $1 in 2013, falling to 65 in 2017. Foreign reserves increased from $304 to 421 baht, 2013 to 2017. Example, more foreign reserves equals stronger economy, better crisis handling. Shortcut to remember, word trick. PGIITF, population and GDP, G equals growth and consumption, I equals industry and debt, inflation and interest, T equals trade, foreign reserves. This trick will help you recall the six key economic indicators for your exam. Let me know if you need more simplifications. Next, SWOT analysis of the Indian economy. SWOT analysis helps in understanding the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the Indian economy. Let's break it down simply. Strengths. Low external debt and fiscal discipline. India manages its debt well, keeping the economy stable. Demonetization 2016. Reduced corruption, increased savings, and expanded tax collection. Rising manufacturing exports. India remains competitive in global markets. GST implementation, a single tax system for the whole country, improving trade and investment. Climate change commitment. India leads in imposing taxes on petroleum and diesel. High growth potential. India can grow at 8 to 10% GDP in the long run. Example, just like a disciplined student who manages expenses wisely, India's government controls debt and spending effectively. Weaknesses. Complex GST system. Initial issues in tax collection and structure. Poor public services. Health and education systems are inefficient. Low private investment in exports. Slow growth in these sectors. Declining savings and rising inequality. People save less and income gaps are widening. Limited demographic dividend. India's working age population growth is lower than other BRICS nations. Example, a company with high potential but weak management faces growth issues similar to India's investment challenges. Competitive and cooperative federalism. States can attract investments in technology. Stronger export market. Demand in the US and Germany can boost Indian exports. Post-demonetization reforms, government can further improve the financial system. Brexit advantage. India can renegotiate trade deals with the UK and Europe. Public sector asset rehabilitation, a solution for struggling banks and businesses. Example, if India plays its cards right, it can grab global trade opportunities, just like a smart entrepreneur seizing a good deal. Unchanged credit ratings. India is not getting the recognition it deserves. Competitive populism. Political decisions may harm economic discipline. Rising global interest rates could impact India's foreign investments. Demographic dividend declining. The youth population advantage will soon reduce. Global protectionism. Countries are restricting trade, affecting India's export potential. Example, just like a cricket team facing a tough pitch, India needs to adjust its strategies to tackle economic challenges. Short trick to remember. SWOT TS equals strong exports and growth potential. W equals weak investments and services. O equals opportunities in trade and reforms. T, threats from global trends. This trick will help you recall all key points for your exam. Let me know if you need further simplifications. National income. National income is the total value of all goods and services produced in a country within a year. Since different goods are measured in different units, e.g. liters for milk, meters for cloth, money is used as a common measure to calculate national income. Key definitions of national income. Professor Fisher, national income includes all services received by consumers, whether from material goods or human efforts. PIGU, national income is the total income of a country, including income from abroad, measured in money. Marshall, national income is the net total of commodities and services produced annually using labor, capital, and natural resources. Imagine a country produces 10 million liters of milk, 5 million meters of cloth, 100,000 cars. Since these items have different units, they cannot be directly added. Instead, we convert them into money, e.g. total sales value in rupees, which gives us a short trick to remember, FPM. F. Fisher focuses on services received. PIGU includes income from abroad. M. Marshall covers goods and services from resources. Just remember FPM to recall the 3 key definitions in your exam. Features of national income. National income has several characteristics that reflect the economic condition of a country. Here are the key features. Key features of national income. 1. Dependence on agriculture. Agriculture contributes 27.8% to national income. It is a major employment provider and supports industries. Low GDP and per capita income. India's GDP and per capita income grow at a slow rate, which affects overall economic progress. 3. Unequal distribution and low living standards. Wealth is not evenly distributed, leaving many people poor. A large population lives below the poverty line. 4. Rise of the tertiary sector. The service sector, tertiary sector, is growing rapidly compared to agriculture and industry. 5. Unequal growth of sectors. Growth rates vary. Primary sector, agriculture, 2.9%. Secondary sector, industry, 6.3%. Tertiary sector, services, 7.1%. 6. Regional disparity versus some states have higher income than others. Punjab has the highest per capita income, while Bihar has the lowest. Urban versus rural gap. Urban incomes are twice as high as rural incomes, showing rural areas are less developed. 8. Public versus private sector. Private sector generates 75.8% of national income. Public sector contributes only 24.2%. Example. If a farmer earns $10,000 per month while an IT worker earns $1,000 per month, income distribution is unequal. Cities have better facilities and higher incomes, whereas villages struggle with low wages and fewer opportunities. Short trick to remember. D. Dependence on agriculture. U. Unequal distribution. L. Low GDP growth. T. Tertiary sector growth. E. Economic sectors grow unequally. R. Regional disparities. U. Urban-rural income gap. Public versus private sector. Just remember, Dulter up to recall the features of national income in your exam. Basic concepts of national income. Understanding national income requires knowing some basic terms. Let's break them down in simple terms with examples. Key concepts of national income. 1. Gross domestic product, GDP. Definition: the total value of all goods and services produced within a country in a year. Example: if India produces 200 lakh worth of goods and services in a year, its GDP equals 200 lakh. 2. Gross national product, GNP. Definition: GDP plus income from abroad, money earned by Indians working in foreign countries minus money sent abroad by foreigners working in India. Example: if India's GDP is 200 lakh and Indians working abroad send 20 lakh home, but foreigners in India send 10 lakh back to their countries, GNP equals 200 plus 20 minus 10 equals 210 lakh. 3. Net national product. Definition: GNP, depreciation, wear and tear of machinery, buildings, etc. Example, if GNP is 210 lakh and depreciation is 10 lakh, NNP equals 210, 10 equals 200 lakh. For national income, NI, definition. NNP, indirect taxes plus subsidies. Example, if NNP is 200 lakh, indirect taxes are 30 lakh, and subsidies are 10 lakh. NI equals 200 and 30 plus 10 equals 180 lakh. 5. Personal income, PI. Definition. National income, corporate profits, social security contributions, transfer payments, like pensions, scholarships, etc. Example, if NI is 180 lakh, corporate profits are 50 lakh, social security contributions are 20 lakh, and transfer payments are 30 lakh. PI equals 180 minus 50 minus 20 plus 30, 140 lakh. 6. Disposable income, DI. Definition. Personal income, taxes, money left with people to spend or save. Example, if PI is 140 lakh and taxes are 40 lakh, DI equals 140, 40 equals 100 lakh. Example to understand national income concepts. Imagine a factory producing mobile phones in India. GDP, the total value of all mobile phones produced. GNP, add income from Indians working in factories abroad and subtract income sent by foreigners. NNP, subtract the cost of broken, damaged machines. NI, remove tax effects and add government subsidies. PI, deduct corporate profits and add government payments like pensions. DI, finally, subtract personal taxes. This is what people actually use. Short trick to remember, GGNNPD. GDP, total production in a country. G, GDP plus income from abroad. N, NNP, depreciation. Gen, national income, NNP, taxes, subsidies. P, personal income, NI, corporate profits, pensions. D, disposable income, PI, taxes. Just remember GGNNPD to recall the key concepts of national income in your exam. Gross and net concepts. Understanding gross and net is important in national income. Let's break it down simply. What is gross and net? Gross, total. This means the full amount before any deductions like depreciation. Example, a company earns 100 crore in a year before any expenses. This is its gross income. Net, after deductions. This is what remains after removing expenses like depreciation, wear and tear of machines. Example, if the company's machines depreciate by 10 crore, then net income equals 100 crore. 10 crore equals 90 crore. Depreciation. Depreciation is the reduction in value of assets like machines, buildings, and vehicles over time due to wear and tear. Example, a factory buys a machine for 10 lakh. After 1 year, its value reduces to 9 lakh due to usage. So 1 lakh is the depreciation. Difference between gross and net term, meaning, example, gross domestic product, GDP, total value of goods and services before depreciation, 200 lakh. Net domestic product, NDP, GDP, depreciation, 210, 190 lakh. Gross national product, GNP, GDP plus income from abroad, 200 plus 20 is 10 equals 210 lakh. So net national product, NNP, GNP, depreciation, 210 is 10 is equals 200 lakh. Short trick to remember, GND. G, gross, full value. N, net after deduction. D, depreciation, difference. Just remember GND to recall the key difference between gross and net. National and domestic concepts. Understanding national income and domestic income is crucial in economics. Let's break it down in a simple way. What is national income and domestic income? National income, worldwide earnings. It includes all income earned by a country's residents, whether they are earning within the country or from abroad. Example, an Indian engineer working in the USA sends money back to India. This income is part of India's national income. Domestic income, within country only. It includes all income generated within a country's borders, no matter if it's by residents or foreigners. Example, a foreign company like Apple earns profit in India. This is part of India's domestic income, even though the company is not Indian. Difference between national and domestic income. Term, meaning, example. National product. Income earned by a country's residents globally. Indian doctor working in the UK sends money to India. Domestic product. Income generated within the country's borders. A US company operating in India contributes to India's economy. National income equals domestic incomes, income from abroad. Domestic income, national income, income from abroad. Short trick to remember, NDG. N, national, includes worldwide. Domestic, only within country. G, geographical boundary. Just remember NDG to recall the key difference between national and domestic income. Market prices versus factor costs. Understanding the difference between market price and factor cost is essential in economics. Let's break it down simply. What is market price and factor cost? Market price, MP. The actual price buyers pay for goods and services in the market. It includes taxes, which increase the price, and subsidies, which decrease the price. Example, if a phone costs $20,000, but GST tax adds $2,000, the market price becomes $22,000. Factor cost, FC. The income earned by the producers of goods and services. It excludes taxes and adds subsidies, because producers don't receive tax money but get subsidies. Example, if the government gives a $1,000 subsidy on a $10,000 product, the factor cost is $9,000. Relationship between market price and factor cost, formula meaning GNP at market price, GNP at factor cost, plus indirect taxes, subsidies, gross national product, GNP when calculated at market prices. NNP at market price equals NNP at factor cost, indirect taxes, subsidies, net national product, NNP when calculated at market prices. Indirect taxes, GST, excise duty, etc. increase market price. Subsidies, GovVet, support, reduce market price. Short trick to remember. Just remember market price, final price buyers pay. I, indirect taxes, increase price. T, total earnings, producers, subsidies, reduce price. Just remember MITS to recall the key difference between market price and factor cost. Gross domestic product, GDP. GDP is a key measure of a country's economic performance. Let's break it down simply. What is GDP? GDP, gross domestic product, is the total value of all goods and services produced within a country's geographical boundaries in one financial year. It includes everything made in factories, services like banking, IT, healthcare, etc. Example, if India produces cars, software, food products, and provides services in 1 year, the total value of all these is India's GDP. What is included in GDP? 1. Territory within country. Land, airspace, and territorial waters. 2. Ships and aircrafts. Owned by residents but operating between countries. 3. Fishing vessels and oil rigs. Even if in international waters, if owned by the country, it's counted. 4. Embassies and military bases. Indian embassies in the USA, UK, etc. are considered part of India's GDP. Short trick to remember, TAME. T, territory inside the country. A, aircrafts and ships running between nations. M, military and embassies abroad. E, exclusive operations like oil rigs in international waters. Just remember to recall the key inclusions in GDP. Components of GDP, expenditure approach. GDP is calculated using 4 main components based on how money is spent in the economy. The formula is GDP equals consumption plus investment plus government purchases net exports. Let's break them down. Consumption, largest part of GDP. What households spend on goods and services? 3 types. Durables, long-lasting goods, TVs, cars, refrigerators. Non-durables, short-term goods, food, beverages, fuel. Services, haircuts, medical care, education. Example, buying a new phone, getting a haircut, or eating at a restaurant all count as consumption. AC. 2. Investment I. Money spent on creating future production. Businesses and households invest in assets. Three types: business investment, machines, buildings, tools; residential investment, buying new houses; inventory investment, goods produced but not yet sold. Example: a company buying new machines, a family buying a new home, or a business storing unsold goods for future sales. 3. Government purchases. G. Spending by governments on goods and services, federal, state, local. Includes defense, salaries for soldiers, military aircraft, weapons; infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways; public services, police, education, healthcare. Does not include transfer payments like pensions and subsidies. Example: the government building a highway, buying fighter jets, or hiring police officers. Exports, imports. Goods sold abroad minus goods bought from abroad. Positive NX, trade surplus, more exports than imports. Negative NX, trade deficit, more imports than exports. Example: India exports medicines to the US, GDP increases. India imports iPhones from the US, deducted from GDP. Short trick to remember. C. Consumption, household spending. I. Investment, business and residential investment. Government purchases, public services, defense, infrastructure, net exports, exports, imports. Just remember to recall the four components of GDP. What is GDP at market price? It is the market value of all final goods and services produced within a country in a financial year. It includes taxes and subsidies, which affect the final selling price. Formula: GDP at market price equals GDP at factor cost plus indirect taxes, subsidies. Understanding with an example. Let's say a car is produced in India. The cost to produce it, factory cost, is $5,000, but the government adds indirect tax, GST, excise duty, $50,000, subsidy, gov support, $10,000. Now, GDP at market price equals 5,000 plus 50,000 is 10,000, which equals 5,000 is 40,000. This means the price consumers pay, 5,000, 40,000, is GDP at market price. Short trick to remember: MPFC plus T minus S. MP, market price; FC, factor cost; TS, subsidy subtracted. Just remember MP equal FC plus T minus S to recall the GDP at market price formula. GDP at factor cost. What is GDP at factor cost? It is the total income earned by all factors of production, labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurs within a country in a financial year. Formula: GDP at factor cost equals GDP at market price, indirect taxes plus subsidies. This means GDP at factor cost excludes taxes, which increase prices, and adds subsidies, which reduce costs. Understanding with an example. Let's say a mobile phone is produced in India. The final price a customer pays, GDP at market price, is 30,000, but the price includes indirect tax, GST, customs duty, government subsidy, 2,000. Now, GDP at factor cost equals 30,000 minus 5,000 plus equals 27,000. This means 27,000 is the actual income earned by all the producers, factories, workers, investors, before taxes and after subsidies. Components of GDP at factor cost. 1. Compensation of employees, wages, salaries, bonuses paid to workers. 2. Operating surplus, profits of businesses, both large companies and small shops. 3. Mixed income of self-employed, earnings of small business owners, freelancers, farmers, etc. Short trick to remember: FC equals MPT plus S. FC, factor cost. MP, market price. T, taxes, subtracted, added. Just remember FC equals MPT plus S to recall the GDP at factor cost formula. Measuring GDP, simple explanation. GDP, gross domestic product, is the total value of goods and services produced in a country. There are 3 ways to measure GDP. How 1. Expenditure approach. This method calculates GDP by adding up all the money spent on final goods and services. Formula: GDP equal consumption plus investments, government purchases, net exports. Consumption: money spent by households on goods and services. Investment: money spent on buildings, machines, and inventories. Government purchases: government spending on goods and services, excluding welfare payments. Net exports: exports: money earned from selling abroad, minus imports: money spent on buying from abroad. Example: if a country spends 1,000 on consumption, 500 on investment, 700 on government, and earns 200 from net exports, then GDP equal 1,000 plus 500 plus 700 plus 200 equals 2,400. 2. Income approach. This method calculates GDP by adding up all the income earned by individuals and businesses. Formula: GDP equals compensation of employees plus rent, interest, proprietor's income, corporate profits, indirect business taxes, depreciation, net foreign factor income. Compensation of employees: salaries, wages, benefits. Rent: income earned from land and property. Interest: money earned from lending capital. Proprietor's income: income of small business owners. Corporate profits: income of big companies. Indirect business taxes: sales tax, business taxes. Depreciation: loss in value of assets over time. Net foreign factor income: income from abroad minus income paid to foreigners. Example: if a country's total income from all these sources is 2,400s, then GDP equals 2,400. Value-added approach. This method calculates GDP by adding the value added at each stage of production. Formula: GDP equals total sales, cost of intermediate goods. Example: a bakery buys flour for 100 and sells bread for 300. The value added is 200. Similarly, every stage of production adds value, which adds up to GDP. Nominal GDP versus real GDP. Nominal GDP, measured using current prices, not adjusted for inflation. Real GDP, adjusted for inflation using a price deflator to show the actual production level. Formula: real GDP equals nominal GDP price deflator. Example: if nominal GDP is 5,000 and inflation is 10%, then real GDP equals 5,000 1.1s 455 40 45. Short trick to remember: EIV, expenditure income value added. E, expenditure approach, C plus I plus G plus NX. I, income approach, sum of all incomes. V, value added approach, total sales, intermediate goods. Just remember EIV to recall the 3 GDP measurement methods. Gross National Product, simple explanation. What is GNP? GNP, Gross National Product, measures the total income earned by a country's residents, including money earned from abroad. It is calculated by adding net factor income from abroad, A, to GDP. Formula: P equals GDP plus NFIA, where NFIA equals factor income received from abroad, factor income paid to foreigners. Understanding NFIA: net factor income from abroad, factor income received from abroad, money earned by Indian citizens working or investing in other countries. Factor income paid to foreigners, money earned by foreign citizens working or investing in India. Example: imagine India's GDP is 3,000 crores. Indians working abroad send 200 crores back to India, factor income received. Foreigners working in India send 100 crores back to their country, factor income paid. NFIA equal 200 crores, 100 crores equal 100 crores. GNP equals 3,000 crores, plus 100 crores equals 3,100 crores. Difference between GDP and GNP. GDP, Gross Domestic Product. GNP, Gross National Product. Measures the income from goods and services produced within the country. Measures the total income of a country's residents, including money earned from abroad. Focuses on territory, India's economy. Focuses on people, Indians worldwide. Formula: GDP equals C plus I plus G NX. Formula: GNP equals GDP. Short trick to remember: GDP to GNP, GDP, domestic production. GNP, GDP plus global income. Just add foreign income to GDP to get GNP. Components of GNP, gross national product, simple explanation. GNP represents the total value of goods and services produced by a country's residents, including income earned from abroad. It is made up of 5 key components. Formula: GNP equals C plus I plus NX plus NFP, where C, consumption, G, government spending, I, investment spending. NX, net exports, equals exports imports. NFP, net factor payments, equals income from abroad, payments to foreigners. Breakdown of GCOM. Consumption, C, spending by people. What it includes: food, clothing, housing, transport, etc. Fact: it is the largest part of GNP, covering 2/3 of total demand. Example: buying a car, groceries, or paying rent. To government spending, G, spending by government. What it includes: salaries of government employees, defense, healthcare, roads, etc. What it excludes: welfare payments like unemployment benefits are not included. Example: the government paying for building highways or funding education. 3. Investment spending, I, business spending. What it includes: buying machinery and equipment, constructing factories, buildings, and houses, investing in new technology. What it excludes: stocks and bonds, because they don't create new production. Example: a company buying new machines for production. Net exports, NX, trade with other countries. Formula: NX equals exports imports. Exports equals goods services sold to foreigners, adds to GNP. Imports equals goods services bought from foreigners, reduces GNP. Trade deficit: if imports exports, it reduces GNP. Example: if India exports software services worth 100 crores but imports oil worth 150 crores, NX equals 100 minus 150 equals 1 minus 50 crores. Trade deficit. Net factor payments, NFP, income from abroad. Formula: NFP equals income earned from abroad, payments to foreigners. Positive NFP: if Indians earn more from abroad than what foreigners earn in India, GNP increases. Negative NFP: if foreigners earn more in India than Indians earn abroad, GNP decreases. Example: if Indian engineers working in the USA send 50 crores to India, foreigners working in India send 30 crores back to their home country. NFP equals 50 crores, 30 crores equals 20 crores. Positive NFP, increasing GNP. Short trick to remember: CGIN, C, consumption, G, government spending, I, investment, NT, net exports, plus net factor payments. Think of a GIN to remember: CGIN formula. GNP at market price, simple explanation. What is GNP at market price? It is the total value of all final goods and services produced in a country in 1 year, valued at current market prices, including net income from abroad. Formula: GNP at market price equals GDP at market price plus GDP at market price equals total value of goods and services produced domestically. NFIA, net factor income from abroad, ST equals income earned from abroad, payments to foreigners. How is it calculated? 1. Take all goods and services produced in a year. 2. Multiply each by their current market price. 3. Add net income from abroad, NFIA. Example: if India's GDP at market price equals 200 lakh crores, net factor income from abroad, NFIA, equals to 10 lakh crores. GNP at market price equals 200 plus 10, 210 lakh crores. Short trick to remember: GMN, GNP at market price, N, net factor income from abroad. Think of GM, General Motors, to remember GMN formula. GNP at factor cost, simple explanation. What is GNP at factor cost? It is the total value of all final goods and services produced in a country, measured at their actual production cost, without the effect of taxes and subsidies. Formula: GNP at factor cost, GNP at market price, indirect taxes plus subsidies. GNP at market price equals total value at selling price, includes taxes. Indirect taxes equals GST, excise duty, etc., which increase prices. Subsidies equals government payments to reduce costs, like LPG subsidy. How is it calculated? 1. Start with GNP at market price. 2. Subtract indirect taxes, because they increase prices artificially. 3. Add subsidies, as they lower the real cost of production. Example, GNP at market price equals 210 lakh crores. Indirect taxes equals 20 lakh crores. Subsidies equals 5 lakh crores. GNP at factor cost equals 210 minus 20 plus 5, 195 lakh crores. Short trick to remember. FITS, F, factor cost, indirect taxes. T, taxes, subsidies. Think of FITS like fitting real costs without tax effects. Growth rate, simple explanation. What is economic growth? Economic growth means an increase in a country's total production of goods and services over time. It happens due to better resources, education, skill development, more resources, higher population, investments, technology improvements. Measured by growth in GDP, gross domestic product, or GNP, gross national product. How to measure GDP growth rate? Formula, text growth rate equals frac YC minus YL times 100. YC equals current year GDP, YL equals last year GDP. Example, GDP last year YL, 200 lakh crores, GDC or YC, 220 lakh crores. Growth rate, frac 220 minus 200 times 100 equals 10%. Meaning, a positive growth rate equals expanding economy, boom, while a negative growth rate equals contracting economy, recession. How to measure GNP growth rate? Formula, GNP equals GDP, NFIA, net factor income from abroad, equals income earned by Indian residents abroad, income earned by foreigners in India. Why is GNP important? It measures the income of all Indian residents, whether inside or outside the country. Example, GDP equals 220 lakh crores, NFI equals 10 lakh crores. GNP equals 220 plus 10 equals 230 lakh crores. Nash short trick to remember, big boom expansion when growth is positive. I, inflation adjusted growth, real GDP. G, GDP growth rate formula. G, GNP growth formula. Think of big because a big economy grows. Net domestic product, NDP, simple explanation. What is NDP? Net domestic product, NDP, is the value of total goods and services produced in a country, GDP, after deducting depreciation, wear and tear of machines, tools, buildings, etc. Formula, text NDP, GDP, text depreciation. Why is NDP important? GDP shows total production, but some of it is lost due to depreciation. NDP gives a more realistic picture of how much new value is added to the economy. Example, GDP is 200 lakh crores, depreciation equals 10 lakh crores. NDP equals 200 minus 10, 190 lakh crores. Meaning, after replacing old, worn-out capital, India actually added 190 lakh crores worth of new production. Short trick to remember. ND, new development. Net, NDP removes depreciation. Depreciation, wear and tear of capital. Think of ND, new development, because NDP tells us the real new production in the economy. Tagger, net national product, NNP, simple explanation. What is NNP? Net national product is the actual income earned by a country's residents, considering both domestic production and income from abroad, after removing depreciation, wear and tear of machines, tools, etc. Formula, P equals, to text, GNP, or NNP equals NDP plus net factor income from abroad. Why is NNP important? Gives the real income of a country after adjusting for depreciation. Includes income from abroad, making it different from NDP. Better indicator of economic welfare than GNP and GDP. Example, GNP equals 300 lakh crores, depreciation equals 20 lakh crores, NNP equals 300 minus 20 equals 280 lakh crores. Meaning, after considering depreciation, India's actual new income is 280 lakh crores. Understanding the role of NFIA. NFIA, net factor income from abroad, is the difference between income earned by Indians abroad and income earned by foreigners in India. If NFIA, NNP is greater than NDP. If NFIA, NNP is less than NDP. If NFIA equals 0, NNP equals NDP. Example, NDP equals 190 lakh crores, NFIA equals 10 lakh crores. NNP equals 190 plus 10 equals 200 lakh crores. Meaning, India's actual earnings, including foreign income, is 200 lakh crores. Short trick to remember. NN national net. NNP removes depreciation. National includes income from abroad. Think of NN equals national net, because NNP tells us the real national income. NNP at market prices, simple explanation. What is NNP at market prices? It is the total value of all final goods and services produced in a country in 1 year after removing depreciation. This value is calculated at market prices, meaning it includes indirect taxes and subsidies. Formula: text NNP at market prices equal text GNP at market prices, depreciation. Key points to remember. Market prices. The value is calculated including taxes and subsidies. Depreciation removed. Since machines and equipment wear out, we remove their depreciation to get the actual value of production. Represents national income. It helps in understanding the country's economic strength. Example: GNP at market prices equals 500 lakh crores. Depreciation equals 50 lakh crores. NNP at market prices equals 500 minus 50 equals 450 lakh crores. Meaning, after removing depreciation, India's actual new production value is 450 lakh crores. Short trick to remember: MP, market price. M, market, includes taxes and subsidies. P, price, final price in the economy. Think of MP equals market price, because it tells us the value of goods at the actual selling price. NNP at factor cost, simple explanation. What is NNP at factor cost? It is the total income earned by the factors of production, labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship in a country after adjusting for taxes and subsidies. Formula: text P at factor cost equals NNP at market prices, indirect taxes. Key points to remember. Factor cost. It represents the income earned by workers, landowners, businesses, etc. Adjusting taxes and subsidies. Indirect taxes, GST, VAT, excise duty, are deducted because they increase the market price but are not part of income. Subsidies, like government financial help to industries, are added because they increase income but are not reflected in the market price. Represents actual national income. It is also called national income, NI. Example: NNP at market prices equals 450 lakh crores. Indirect taxes equals 50 lakh crores. Subsidies equals 20 lakh crores. NNP at factor cost equals 450 minus 50 plus 20, 420 lakh crores. Meaning, the real earnings of people in India, after removing tax effects and adding subsidies, is 420 lakh crores. Short trick to remember. FIT. Factor income tax. Factor earnings from land, labor, capital. I, indirect taxes, deducted. T, taxes and subsidies. Added subsidies, remove taxes. Think of FIT because we adjust for taxes and subsidies to get the real earnings. Simple explanation. What is domestic income? It is the total income earned within a country by all factors of production, labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurs, from local resources. Formula: text domestic income, text national income, net income from abroad. Key points to remember. Earned inside the country only includes income generated within the country. Sources of domestic income: wages and salaries, earnings of workers; rent, including claimed house rent; interest, from loans and savings; dividends, profits given to shareholders; undistributed corporate profits, profits that companies keep; mixed income, self-employed people, partnerships, etc. Does not include income from abroad. Money earned by residents from other countries is excluded. Example: national income, 500 lakh crores. Net income from abroad, 50 lakh crores. Domestic income equals 500 minus 50, 450 lakh crores. Meaning, the total earnings generated inside the country are 450 lakh crores. Short trick to remember. DIN, domestic income national. D, domestic earnings, local sources only. I, income types, wages, rent, interest, dividends. N, national income, income from abroad. Think of DIN because domestic income includes only what is earned inside the nation. Private income, simple explanation. What is private income? It is the total income earned by private individuals and businesses, whether through productive business work or non-productive sources, like gifts or pensions. Formula: private incomes, national income, NNP at factor cost, transfer payments, text interest on public debt, Social Security contributions, public sector profits. Key points to remember. Earned by private individuals' firms include salaries, profits, and other incomes from private businesses. Additions to national incomes, transfer payments, pensions, unemployment benefits, gifts from abroad, interest on public debt, government pays interest on loans taken, windfall gains, lottery, horse racing. Deductions from national income, government earnings, profits of public enterprises, Social Security contributions, Provident Fund, insurance, etc. Example: national income 800 lakh crores, transfer payments 50 lakh crores, interest on public debt 20 lakh crores, Social Security 30 lakh crores, public sector profits 40 lakh crores, private income 800 to 50, 20 minus 30 minus 40, 800 lakh crores. Meaning, private individuals and businesses earn 800 lakh crores after all additions and deductions. Short trick to remember: PITS, private income transfer security, private earnings from business and work, interest on public debt, transfer payments, pensions, gifts, etc. Social Security deductions, Provident Fund, insurance. Think of PITS because private income includes interest, transfers, and security deductions. What is per capita income? It is the average income per person in a country for a particular year. This helps in understanding how much income an individual would get if the national income were evenly distributed. Formula: text per capita income, national income, total population. Key points to remember. Measures economic well-being. Higher per capita income means people earn more on average. Two types of measurements. Current prices uses the prices of the same year, inflation included. Constant prices adjusts for inflation to compare different years accurately. Comparison tool used to compare economic development between countries and over different years. Example: national income 100 lakh crores in 2023, population 140 crore in 2023. Capita income equals 100 lakh crores, 140 crores equals 71,428 per person. Meaning each person would earn 71,428 if the national income were distributed equally. Short trick to remember: PIN, per capita income equals national population, P per capita individual's share, income of the nation, total earnings, N, number of people, total population. Think of PIN because per capita income depends on national income and population. Personal income, simple explanation. What is personal income? It is the total income received by individuals in a country in a particular period. It includes earnings like salaries, wages, rent, interest, and dividends. However, it excludes income that is earned but not received, such as corporate taxes and undistributed profits of companies. Formula: text personal income, NNP at factor cost, undistributed profits, corporate taxes, transfer payments. Key points to remember. Personal income, national income. Some earnings are not received by individuals, corporate profits, taxes, while some income is received without working, pensions, unemployment benefits. Includes transfer payments. These are payments received without producing goods or services, such as old age pensions, unemployment benefits, and relief funds. Important for measuring purchasing power, it shows how much money people actually get to spend. Example: NNP at factor cost equals 500, undistributed profits equals 50 crore, corporate taxes equals 70 crore, transfer payments equals 30 crore. Personal income equals 500 and 50 and 70 plus 30 equals 410 crore. This means 410 crore is the actual income received by individuals in the economy. Short trick to remember. POT, personal income, equals own earnings plus transfer payments, taxes. Personal income, money people actually get. O, own earnings, salary, rent, interest. T, transfer payments, pensions, unemployment benefits. Think of POT because personal income is the money people receive, including transfer payments, but after removing taxes. Disposable income DI, simple explanation. What is disposable income? It is the money left with individuals after paying taxes to the government. This income is available for spending and saving. Formula: disposable income, text personal income. Key points to remember. DI is the actual money available for an individual after tax deductions. Higher DI means more spending and savings, which helps the economy grow. Important for economic analysis. Governments track DI to see how much people can afford to spend. Example, personal income equals 50,000. Taxes paid equals 5,000. Disposable income equals 50,000. 5,000 equals 45,000. This means that 45,000 is available for spending and saving. Short trick to remember. DIT, disposable income, is take-home money. Disposable, money after taxes. I, income, salary, wages, rent, interest, money paid to Gov. Think of DIT because disposable income is what you get after taxes. Understanding national income formulas simply. These formulas help understand how national income is calculated and its different forms. GNP, gross national product, total income earned by a country's residents, including income from abroad. NNP, net national product, GNP after removing depreciation, loss of value of assets. GDP, gross domestic product, total income within a country, excluding foreign income. MOT, NDP, net domestic product, GDP after depreciation. Factor cost versus market price. Factor cost excludes taxes, includes subsidies. Market price includes taxes, excludes subsidies. Simple conversions to remember. Domestic versus national product. National product equals domestic product plus income from abroad. National product, income from abroad. Example, GNP at market price, NFIA GP at market price, NNP at market price, NFIA equals NDP at market income. Net income, gross income, depreciation. Gross income equals net income plus depreciation. Example, GNP at market price, depreciation equals NNP at market price. GNP at factor cost, depreciation equals NNP at factor cost. 3. Factor cost versus market price. Factor cost equals market price, indirect taxes, subsidies. Market price equals factor cost, indirect taxes, subsidies. Example, P at market price, net indirect taxes equals NNP at factor cost. GDP at market price, net indirect taxes equals GDP at factor cost. Short trick to remember. GNDG, gross versus net, remove depreciation. N, national versus domestic, add, remove foreign income. D, direct cost, factor cost versus market price. Think of G and gross, national, domestic to remember key calculations. Understanding national income simply. National income measures the total earnings of a country. There are different ways to calculate it, but all methods lead to the same result. Methods of calculating national income. 1. Expenditure approach, spending method. This method calculates national income by adding up all the spending on goods and services in an economy. Formula: national income, Y, equals consumption, C, plus investment, I, plus government purchases, G, net exports, XM. Example, a family buys a car, consumption. A company builds a factory, investment. The government builds roads, government purchases. India exports software, net exports. 2. Income approach, earning method. This method adds up all the income earned by people and businesses in a country. Formula: national income equals wages plus rent, interest, profits. Example, salary earned by employees, wages, rent from property, rent, bank interest earned, interest, profits of businesses, profits. Important national income concepts: GNP, gross national product, total income of a country including earnings from abroad. NNP, net national product, GNP after removing depreciation, wear and tear of assets. NI, national income, total income earned by a nation's residents. PI, personal income, income received by individuals before paying taxes. DI, disposable income, income left after paying taxes, available for spending or saving. Example, a businessman earns 10 lakh, personal income. After paying 2 lakh tax, he has 8 lakh left, disposable income. Short trick to remember, WIRP. W, wages, salary earnings. E, expenditure, spending on goods services. R, rent, property income. I, earnings. P, profits, business earnings. Think of WIRP, wages, expenditure, rent, interest, profits to recall national income concepts. Factors affecting national income, simple explanation. The size of a country's national income depends on 5 key factors. Let's break them down in simple terms. 1. Natural resources. The more land, minerals, water, and forests a country has, the higher its national income. Countries rich in coal, oil, and fertile soil usually have higher production and income. But just having resources is not enough. They must be used efficiently. Example, Saudi Arabia earns high income because of oil reserves. Africa has many resources, but some countries remain poor due to lack of proper utilization. Workers, labor force, are needed to produce goods and services. They must be skilled and sufficient in number. If a country has too few workers, resources are wasted. If too many, income per person is low. Example, Japan has fewer people but high skills, leading to high per capita income. India has many workers, but due to population size, per person income is lower. Capital means machines, tools, and factories used in production. Countries with modern technology and industries have higher national income. Underdeveloped countries lack capital, so their income remains low. Example, USA has advanced factories, so it has high production and income. Bangladesh has fewer machines, so national income is lower. 4. Organization and management. Skilled business leaders and managers help industries grow and work efficiently. A country with strong leadership in business earns more income. Example, Germany is successful in business because of great organization and leadership. 5. Social and political structure. A country's laws, government, and culture affect its income. Stable and corruption-free governments help businesses grow. If laws are weak or corruption is high, businesses struggle and national income stays low. Example, Switzerland has strict law enforcement and stable politics, leading to high income. Somalia faces political instability, causing low income levels. Short trick to remember, NL costs, natural resources. L, labor. C, capital. O, organization and management. S, social and political structure. Think of NL SOS to recall the factors affecting national income. Measuring national income, GNP, simple explanation. National income can be measured in 3 ways. Let's understand them in simple terms. 1. Output or production method. This method calculates the total value of goods and services produced in a country in 1 year. It includes agriculture, industry, and services. Only final goods are counted to avoid double counting. Example, a farmer sells wheat for tens. A bakery makes bread and sells it for 30. We don't count 10 wheat again, only 30 final bread value is counted in GNP, used for measuring income from production, factories, agriculture, etc. 2. Income method. This method adds up all incomes earned by people in a country. It includes wages, rent, interest, and profits. Example, a teacher earns 50,000 salary. A landlord earns 20,000 rent. A businessman earns 100,000 profit. Total national income equals 50,000 plus 20,000 plus 100,000 equals 170,000. Used for knowing how much income people earn in the economy. 3. Expenditure method. This method adds up total spending in the economy. It includes spending by households, businesses, and the government. Example, people buy goods and services equals 5 lakh. Businesses invest in machines, 3 lakh. Government spends on roads, schools, 2 lakh. Total national income of 5 little plus 3 little plus 2 little equals 10 little. Used for understanding where money is spent in the economy. Short trick to remember, OIE, O, output method. IEE, expenditure method. Think of OIE to recall the 3 methods of measuring national income. Output or production method, value-added method, simple explanation. This method is also called the value-added method because it calculates national income based on the total value added in different sectors of the economy. How it works. 1. The economy is divided into different sectors, agriculture, industry, transport, etc. 2. The total value of goods and services produced in each sector is calculated. 3. To avoid double counting, the cost of raw materials, intermediate goods, is subtracted. 4. The final value is summed up to get gross national product, GNP. 5. After deducting depreciation, we get net national product, NNP, or national income. Formula: GNP equals money value of total goods and services plus net factor income from abroad. NNP, GNP depreciation. Precautions, things to remember. Avoid double counting. Only final goods are counted, not intermediate goods. Example: if a carpenter makes a table, we count only the table's value, not the value of the wood separately. 2. Include new capital assets. Any new machines, buildings, or tools made in the year should be counted. Example: if a factory buys a new machine, it should be included in national income. Deduct stock appreciation. If stock, inventory prices increase, it doesn't mean real production increased. Example: if wheat prices increase but production stays the same, we don't count the price increase as income. 4. Count production for self-consumption. Goods made for personal use should be included at market prices. Example: if a farmer grows wheat for his own family, it must be counted in national income. 5. Exclude depreciation. Old machines wear out over time. Their value must not be included in new income. Example: if a company replaces an old machine, its cost is not added to national income. Short trick to remember, DICSD, D, double counting avoid. I, include new capital assets. C, count self-consumption. Stock appreciation deduct. Depreciation exclude. Think of DSD to recall the precautions for the output method. Income method, simple explanation. The income method calculates national income based on how income is distributed among individuals in a country. How it works? 1. People earn income by working, wages, or by owning property like land, rent, and capital, interest. 2. The total income earned by all individuals in a country is summed up. Only incomes earned by contributing to production are included. 4. Transfer payments like pensions or donations are not included because they don't come from production. The final value gives us gross national product, GNP. Formula: GNP equals wages plus rent, interest, profit, net factor income from abroad. Components of GNP, what's included? 1. Wages and salaries. Income earned by workers through salaries, overtime, commission, etc. Example: a company paying $50,000 salary to an employee. Rent. Money received for using land, shops, houses, etc. Example: a landlord earning $10,000 per month as rent. 3. Interest. Interest earned from lending money or investments. Example: a businessman earning $5,000 interest from his savings. 4. Dividends. Profits earned by shareholders from company stocks. Example, a shareholder receiving $2,000 as a dividend from a company. 5. Undistributed corporate profits. Profits that companies keep instead of distributing as dividends. 6. Mixed incomes. Earnings of self-employed people or small businesses. 7. Direct taxes. Taxes paid by individuals and businesses, like income tax. 8. Indirect taxes. Taxes added to product prices, like GST, excise duty. 9. Depreciation. Money set aside for replacing old machines and equipment. Net factor income from abroad. The difference between money earned from exports versus money paid for imports. Precautions, things to remember. 1. Avoid double counting. Only net incomes should be included, not the same income counted twice. Example, a company pays $100,000 in wages. Employees spend this on goods, but we only count wages, not spending again. 2. Ignore transfer payments. Free money, like pensions, donations, scholarships, is not part of national income. Example, if a retired worker gets a $20,000 pension, it is not included in national income. 3. Count only production-related payments. Only incomes earned by contributing to production should be counted. Example, a farmer earning money from crops is included, but a lottery win is not included. 4. Self-used factors must be counted. If a businessman uses his own land, its estimated rent should be counted. 5. Exclude free services. Services like housework by a homemaker or homegrown vegetables are not included. 6. Include undistributed corporate profits. If a company saves some profit instead of paying dividends, it must be included in national income. Short trick to remember. DRIDMID, wages and salaries, R, rent, interest, dividends. Mixed incomes, I, indirect taxes, direct taxes, depreciation. Think of ROD-MI to recall the components of the income method. Expenditure method, simple explanation. The expenditure method calculates national income by adding up all the money spent on goods and services in a country during a year. How it works. 1. People spend money to buy goods and services. 2. Businesses invest money in machinery, equipment, and new projects. 3. The government spends money on public services, e.g., roads, hospitals. 4. We also consider exports and imports to check foreign investment. 5. Adding all these expenses gives us gross national product, GNP. Formula, GNP equals C plus I plus X XM plus G plus net factor income from abroad, where C equals private consumption expenditure, money spent by individuals on goods and services. I equals gross domestic private investment, money spent by businesses on new projects and replacements. XM equals net foreign investment, exports, imports. G equals government expenditure, money spent by the government on public goods and services. Components of GNP. What's included? 1. Private consumption expenditure. Money spent by individuals on goods and services. Example, buying groceries, clothes, mobile phones. 2. Gross domestic private investment, I. Money spent by businesses on new projects, machinery, buildings, etc. Example, a company investing in a new factory. 3. Net foreign investment, XM. The difference between exports, X, and imports, M. Example, if India exports 50 crores worth of goods and imports 40 crores, net foreign investment is 10 crores. 4. Government expenditure, G. Money spent by the government on public services like healthcare, defense, education, etc. Example, government spending on new roads and metro trains. 5. Net factor income from abroad. The difference between money earned from abroad and money paid to foreign entities. Precautions, things to remember. 1. Exclude second-hand goods. Old goods don't contribute to current production. Example, buying a second-hand car is not included. Exclude old shares and bonds. Buying stocks is not included. because it's just money transfer, not production. Example, if you buy a 10,000 share in a company, it is not part of national income. Exclude transfer payments. Government payments like pensions, unemployment benefits, and public debt interest are not included. Example, if the government gives $5,000 as an old age pension, it is not included in national income. Short trick to remember, CIGX. C, consumption expenditure. Investment by businesses. G, government expenditure. X, net foreign investment. Think of CIGX to recall the components of the expenditure method. Importance of measuring national income. National income measurement is very important because it helps understand the economic performance of a country. Here's why. Why is national income measurement important? 1. Reveals overall production performance. It shows the total production of goods and services in a year. Per capita income, PCI, equals national income, total population. Example, if a country's national income is 10,000 crore and the population is 50 crore, PCI equals 200 per person. 2. Helps analyze economic growth. It tells whether the economy is growing, stagnant, or declining over time. If national income increases, economy is growing. If national income stays same, economy is stagnant. If national income decreases, economy is declining. Example, if India's national income was 50 lakh crore last year and 55 lakh crore this year, it means the economy is growing. 3. Shows contribution of different sectors. It helps understand how agriculture, industry, and trade contribute to national income. Example, if agriculture contributes 10 lakh crore, manufacturing 20 lakh crore, and services 30 lakh crore, we know which sector is most important. 4. Helps in income distribution. It shows how income is divided among wages, salaries, profits, rents, and interest. Example, if 60% of national income goes to wages and 40% to profits, it shows how wealth is shared. 5. Helps track consumption, saving, and investment. It includes figures for spending, saving, and investment. Example, if people save more and invest in businesses, the economy grows faster. 6. Helps compare countries. National income data helps compare economic welfare among different countries. Example, if India's per capita income is 2 lakh per year and the USA's is 40 lakh per year, it shows the difference in living standards. 7. Guides economic policies. The government uses national income data to make economic policies and plan development. Example, if national income data shows low growth in manufacturing, the government can give tax benefits to boost it. Short trick to remember, GCD-WIX, growth analysis. C, comparison with other countries. D, different sector contributions. W, wages and income distribution. I, investment and saving trends. C, consumption and spending trends. S, support for government policies. Think of GCD-WIX to recall the importance of national income measurement. Difficulties in measuring national income in India. Measuring national income in India is challenging due to various economic, social, and technical issues. Here's why. Key challenges in national income measurement. 1. Non-monetized sector, barter system. Many goods and services don't enter the market and are consumed directly by producers. Example, farmers grow crops for their own use instead of selling them. Since no money is involved, it's hard to measure their value. 2. Lack of clear job differentiation. Many people do multiple jobs at the same time, making income calculation difficult. Example, a farmer may also run a small shop. How much of his income is from farming and how much from the shop? 3. Conceptual problems. Different methods, production, income, expenditure, give different results. New industries, like electronics, defense, did not exist in past records, making comparisons hard. Example, a mobile phone industry didn't exist 30 years ago, so measuring growth accurately is tough. 4. Black money and tax evasion. Many businesses hide income to avoid tax, leading to wrong national income estimates. Example, a company underreports its earnings to pay less tax, making official income figures inaccurate. 5. Regional differences. Economic conditions differ across states and even within states. Using one region's data for the entire country creates errors. Example, income levels in Mumbai are much higher than in a village in Bihar, but national estimates assume uniform growth, which is incorrect. 6. Missing data on small businesses. Small businesses and home-based industries don't keep proper records, making it hard to estimate their earnings. Example, a tailor working from home doesn't report income properly, leading to wrong data. 7. Mass illiteracy. Many people don't understand the importance of surveys, so they don't give correct information. Example, a farmer might not know how to calculate his actual profit, so he guesses wrong numbers. 8. Sampling issues. Organizations like CSO and NSSO use small surveys to estimate income for the whole country. These samples may not represent the actual population. Example, if a survey collects data from only 1,000 people in Delhi, it cannot represent all of India. 9. Other challenges. No single method for national income calculation. Lack of trained professionals to collect and analyze data properly. Short trick to remember. Bird scams, black money and tax evasion. I. Illiteracy. People don't give correct info. R. Regional differences. D. Data missing. Small businesses, farmers. S. Sampling issues, wrong estimates. C. Conceptual problems, new industries, different methods. A. Activities mixed. People doing multiple jobs. M. Monetized sector missing. Barter system. S. Skilled professionals missing. Think of bird scams to recall the difficulties in measuring national income.